Hey Flock, what's up, man? Nothing much, just playing some Fortnite on my Xbox. Have you ever considered playing on PC? PC? No? What? Why would I ever do that? I love my Xbox, and on top of that, I don't want to miss out on any future exclusives. Dude, don't even worry about that. PC now has every single Xbox game anyway. I just did a Game Pass video on my YouTube channel about it, talking about all those benefits. Are you pulling my leg? Dude, not at all, man. Come on over, sit down at my PC and try it out for yourself. All right, I'll give it to you. That skit was probably not that great, but hey, it was my first one, so cut me a little bit of slack, all right? I'm just trying to switch things up for you. But today we're talking about why I switched over to PC gaming. And no, this is not a console bashing video. I would never tell you to leave a platform that you're perfectly happy with for something that you may not enjoy. All I'm saying is that if you're considering switching to PC gaming, I highly recommend it. Now, for years, I was a die-hard console gamer, and to be exact, it really started with the Xbox 360. Now, we need to paint a very clear picture here. I was an absolute die-hard, ride-or-die console gamer, and more specifically an Xbox gamer. I remember during the 360 era, it kind of felt like the golden age of gaming there for a little bit. We had games setting records like never before. We had Gears of War, we had Halo 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Call of Duty Black Ops, and the list goes on and on. The Xbox 360 definitely seemed like the place to play. But in 2013, that all changed because the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 came out, and it was very clear early on that the PlayStation 4 had the upper hand. But given my history with Xbox, there was absolutely no doubt in my mind which console I was going to buy. So day one, at the midnight release, I stood in line and I picked up an Xbox One Day 1 edition. And for about the next 4 years, I was constantly reminded everywhere on the internet about how the Xbox One was underpowered compared to the PlayStation 4. In fact, prior to the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 era, I never even paid attention to things like resolution, graphics, frame rate, or anything like that. But somehow with the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, that all seemed to change. And of course, during this time, every time there was a console war debate about how Xbox this or PlayStation that, you would always have that guy in the corner that would be like, yeah, but my PC, it'd crush both your Xbox One and your PlayStation 4. Just saying. In my head, PC was so far from even being a viable option. And the funny part about it is that I work in IT, and I've been working in IT for years, and I was always the only person on every IT team that gamed on a console. Everyone that I ever worked with always gamed on a PC. Looking back on it, I still don't understand why I had such a hatred for PC gaming. I really don't. So to put things in perspective, Xbox One had a terrible launch. Everyone's talking about how the PlayStation 4 is more powerful. More and more of my friends are starting to stop gaming on an Xbox, and they're either switching to PlayStation or they're switching to PC. In fact, I was waking up to messages on my phone from some of my closest friends who had switched over to PC, and it would literally say, "Good morning. How's the 30 FPS down there?" After going through this for about 4 years, you start thinking to yourself, you know, maybe Xbox isn't the place to play. Yes, I was having a good time playing on my Xbox with my friends, but I was also seeing so many people around me who were claiming that other platforms were far superior. It made me start wondering if I was missing out. Microsoft introduced Project Scorpio. Project Scorpio went on to become the Xbox One X. And once again, I found myself standing in line at midnight at a GameStop paying $500 for another Xbox console. And this time I was holding out hope that I could go home and turn on the console and no longer be the laughingstock on the internet. Digital Foundry did video after video proving just how powerful the Xbox One X truly was. And it was very clear early on that the Xbox One X was now the most powerful gaming console that had ever been created. The argument for power was completely over. Enter Xbox has no games. Now, it's true that Xbox did have plenty of games you could play, But most of these games were all third-party titles that were also available on the PlayStation. So what if Call of Duty looks ever so slightly better on the Xbox One X? You can still play Call of Duty on your PlayStation and still have access to exclusive games only on the PlayStation, and those games are critically acclaimed games like God of War and Spider-Man. So now, even though I had the latest and greatest Xbox and it was technically the most powerful console on the planet, the Xbox platform was a shadow of its former self. But I was holding out hope because I absolutely did not want to switch platforms and I didn't want to have to start over, if you will. But in 2019, it was the final nail in the coffin for me. It was the straw that broke the camel's back, and I said, you know what? I'm out. E3 2019, Xbox actually took part of their E3 presentation to stop talking about Xbox and started talking about PC. This absolutely blew me away, and I could not believe what I was hearing. Xbox had just made the announcement that they were getting back into first-party studio development. They just purchased several studios, and now they were making the announcement that, oh, by the way, all of these new games that are coming, yeah, we're gonna give it all to the PC players as well. Phil Spencer fundamentally believes that you should not be punished for the platform that you play on. And honestly, I can't really say that I disagree with that. If that's the way it was going to be, then fine, no more limitations. I never wanted to be in a position where someone was gonna tell me that my console was underpowered. For years, people kept talking to me about how PC gaming was far superior, frame rate this, resolution that, so I decided to go all in. And then in October of 2019, I had two of my closest friends, which are the guys that you see on the Power of PC podcast, come over to my house, and we spent an entire weekend putting our PCs together. The way that I viewed it was, if I was an Xbox gamer for all these years and Xbox decided that they were gonna give pretty much all the same benefits and all the games to PC, I might as well switch to PC, because on PC, I would have higher frame rate, higher resolution, better graphics, mod support, and in a lot of cases, cheaper games. But it didn't stop there. I also have full customization over my PC. Instead of continuing to buy an Xbox every couple of years for $500, which was nothing more than a standard black box, I can now actually build a custom PC and make it look exactly the way that I wanted it to look. I'll finish up the video by saying this. PC gaming is absolutely awesome, and I highly recommend it, especially if you're already considering it. However, it's not perfect and there are some things I don't like about it, but PC is now my primary platform of choice. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that like button. It goes a long way in helping me out. And if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button and become part of the E-Rock on Deck community. We would absolutely love to have you. And until next time, E-Rock out.
From, and we are going to bless somebody this holiday season. We're gonna do it, and when we do it, it's gonna be a big video. It's gonna be on the channel. It's gonna be from E-Rock Nation. Everybody's gonna know it's coming right here from this Twitch community. Synth Jeffrey, Spank, Flock, Gamers and Techies, everyone else who subscribes. Like, that's what it's gonna be, guys.